Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we will learn how to create a radio button using HTML and CSS. So let's get started. Here we create a field set with a legend that have a text choose a flavor. Next we have a div element. Inside the div element we have input type that is set to radio and the ID is assigned to vanilla. The name attribute is set to flavor, which group this radio button together. Next we have a label element. Here we are using for attribute. It provides a visual label for the radio button. Next we'll have a two set of radio button, each associated with a label. One is for the strawberry and the other one is for the chocolate. The strawberry set of radio button also follow a similar structure. Now let's set CSS. Here we have a body element. We set the height to 100 VH so that it take up to the full viewport height. Margin is set to 0 so that it remove default margin on the body. Display is set to grid. Place item is set to center so that it center the content horizontally and vertically. Font family is set to sans serif. Font size is set to 1.8 rem and the background image is set to linear gradient color using multiple colors. Next we have a field set element. Here the margin is set to 50 pixels Padding is set to 20 pixel. Border radius is set to 20 pixels so that round the corner of the fill set. Background color is set to RGBA. Here it's set at semi-transparent white background. Box shadow is set to 0 pixel and 0 pixel and 10 pixel. And here we set the RGBA color. Display is set to inline block and the border is set to none so that it removes the border. Next we have a legend element. Here we set the font size to 28 pixel. Font weight is set to bold. Background is set to RGBA. It sets a semi-transparent background. Backdrop filter is set to blur 2 pixel. It applies a blur effect to the background. Border radius is set to 20 pixels so that it rounded the corner. Padding is set to 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Color is set to white. And here we set the box shadow. Now, let's select all the radio button input in the HTML. Here appearance is set to none. WebKit appearance is set to none so that it removes the default styling applied by the browser to radio button. Width and height is set to 20 pixel. Border is set to 1 pixel solid white. Border radius is set to 50% so that it makes the radio button circular. Margin right is set to 10 pixel so that it adds a margin to the right of the radio button. Background color is set to transparent and the position is set to relative. Top is set to 6 pixel. Now let's select the shadow element before of check radio button. Here we set the content to an empty string. Display is set to block. Width is set to 12 pixel and the height is set to 12 pixel so that it creates a smaller circle. Next we set the background color of the shadow element. Next we have a border radius that is set to 50%. Here the position is set to absolute. Top and left is set to 50%. Transform is set to translate -50% and -50%. Animation is set to appear 0.8 second so that it animates to the shadow element with a duration of 0.8 second. Next we have a label element. Here we have a font size that is set to 24 pixel. Font weight is set to bold. and the color is set to white. Now let's style the div element. Display is set to flex, align item is set to center, and the margin button is set to 20 pixels. So that it creates a spacing between the flavor options. Now let's set keyframe. Here 0% is the start of the animation. We set the transform to translate -50% and -50%. And the scale is set to 0 so that it hides. And the background color is set to transparent. Next we have a 45%. Here we set the transform to translate -50% and -50%. Here we set the scale to 1.6, making it a slightly bigger. Here we set the background color to a sky blue. Next we have a 50%. Here we set the transform to translate -50% and -50%. We set the scale to 1.7 and the background color. Here we set a light pink color. Next we have a 55%. Here we set the transform to translate -50% and -50%, and here the scale is set to 1.6. And the last we have a 100%. Here we set the transform to translate -50% and -50%, and the scale is set to 1. And here we have a final background color. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video tutorial, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more web development tutorials.